I'm Kyle Stoy, a former SWAT officer, combat veteran, Purple Heart recipient with 20 years in law enforcement. I retired as a police sergeant about 8 years ago. I've spent the last 9 years as an entrepreneur. I've built multiple businesses, one that did over $1 million in revenue in a year. And you want to know the one thing I've seen over and over again? Most people, they're stuck. Look, it's not because they aren't capable. It's not because they don't have talent. It's because they're caught in invisible traps that are built to keep them weak, distracted, and disconnected from their mission, from their purpose. So I started thinking, if I were the enemy, if my goal was to keep you stuck in the suck, to keep you playing small, to keep you from ever reaching your full potential, from ever really reaching that full purpose in your life, how would I do that? How would I accomplish that? I actually asked ChatGPT to come up with 15 ways that if it were the devil, how would it keep you stuck in life, keep you from reaching your full potential? And so over the next 15 episodes, I'm going to break down each one of those 15 things, how they work, why they're dangerous, and most importantly, how to escape. So if you're new here, welcome to Rewired Experience podcast. And I'm calling this series the Hot Wash. And the first trap we're going after today, it's comfort. Because comfort, that's what's killing you, my friend. So if you're feeling stuck right now, if you know there's more inside of you, but you just can't seem to break through, chances are you're stuck in the suck, and it's this specific obstacle that's got you stuck there. Chances are you're too comfortable. Now, you might hear that and think, what do you mean, Kyle? I'm not comfortable. I have stress. I've got struggles. But here's the thing. That's exactly what makes you comfortable. And that's why comfort's so dangerous, is because you're thinking that way. Because it doesn't always feel like relaxation when you're comfortable. Sometimes it feels like numbness, apathy, or like you're just kind of drifting through life, going through the motions, right? So here's the crazy part. Dial into this. Comfort tricks you into thinking you're just fine right where you are. You're not bad. You're not great. You're just existing. I know this because I've fallen in this exact trap. I've been stuck behind this obstacle. After years of combat, SWAT raids, adrenaline dumps, and pushing my limits, I told myself that I'd earned the right to kind of slow down, to take it easy a little bit. Even though I was starting and running multiple businesses, I was still stuck thinking small. I was still stuck being comfortable. And so I did it. I kept myself comfortable, at least what I thought, kind of like what my definition of being comfortable was. And at first it felt pretty good. But then after a while, something changed. And I definitely lost my perspective. And it took me a while to find that perspective again. And that's why I'm here to kind of help you speed up that learning curve, to help you speed up that orientation phase of you getting out of the suck. So when I was stuck, I wasn't waking up driven anymore. My workouts were half-assed. My focus was slipping. My testosterone dropped like 36%. I mean, I was feeling weak. I was 35 pounds overweight again, which I had already lost some weight, right, from when I had my injury and almost had my leg amputated. You can find that in some previous episodes. But for the first time in my life, I didn't feel like I was in control anymore. Comfort was definitely in control. So here's what you do if you find yourself like me in that spot. And this is a Rewired Experience framework. You got to take a knee. In military terms, when we say take a knee, it means to pause, reassess the situation, and it's about changing your perspective to understand where you are and what needs to be done. If you don't change your perspective on comfort, you'll never escape it. And there's a big difference between perception and perspective. So be careful, because you want to be in perspective. That's other people's viewpoint. Perception is your viewpoint. And that is definitely a mindset or a way of thinking that's going to keep you stuck. And that's very important when you're taking a knee and you're trying to change your perspective so that you can recognize whatever this obstacle is that you need to get around, go through, over, whatever the case may be. So here's what nobody tells you about the obstacle of comfort. It's not just a feeling. It's literally a chemical addiction. So here's the deal. When you do something hard, so whether it's training, business, or pushing yourself, your brain's going to give you dopamine as a reward. But when you avoid discomfort, your brain gives you dopamine anyway. This is like a survival mechanism. So you're kind of damned if you do and damned if you don't. Your brain's going to give you that dopamine if you're avoiding discomfort or whether you're seeking it. So the things that you're doing day in and day out, where you're avoiding discomfort like binge watching, mindless scrolling on your phone, social media, all those kinds of things that are really common distractors right now in modern society, that's how comfort keeps you weak. It constantly is going to give you that dopamine hit, almost the same as it would if you were doing hard things and succeeding. It tricks you into thinking that you're good enough while slowly stealing your edge. So if you're stuck and you're feeling unmotivated, if you're tired or unfocused, it's not because you're lazy. You might be a little uninspired, but you're probably not lazy. And I'm sorry if somebody's ever said that to you, because I've had it said to me, but that's not where you're at. It's because you've been feeding your brain the wrong inputs. Now, what we call your inputs is what you're taking in. This is what we call in Rewired Experience drinking water, because water is the most pure form of input you can put in your body. So we want to mimic our inputs with the purity of water. It means the Rewired Experience framework, when we say drink water, this is about changing your inputs, flushing out the garbage you've been consuming and replacing it with the fuel you actually need. But drinking water isn't enough. You got to reshoot your azimuth. I know you're thinking, Kyle, what the heck is reshoot your azimuth? If you've never listened to an episode before and you've been drifting for a while, here's what you need to do. Again, we're going to reshoot our azimuth. Now, what does that mean? The azimuth in the military is a cardinal direction or a compass heading. So we look at a map, we figure out a direction or a heading, and we shoot that azimuth to determine that direction. If you drift even 1 degree off course from that azimuth, then depending on the distance you're traveling, you could literally end up miles away from your target, and you'll never complete the mission that you set out to complete, your whole reason for being there. Right? So most people don't even realize they're off course until they wake up years later wondering what the heck happened. It's the same way when we're out there in land navigation. We'll be rolling along unless you're constantly checking that azimuth to make sure you're on track. Then all of a sudden you look up and you're so far off path, you've lost your direction so drastically that you're lost. And that's just where you've been. So here's what you do. You're going to set a micro goal. In Rewired Experience, we call this an objective rally point, because a rally point's just where we gather and get our stuff together. So it's a small, achievable goal, something that's going to force you into discomfort. And then 2, you're going to attach that to a why, a reason so strong that quitting isn't even an option. And really, step 2 in reshooting your azimuth is the most important thing, because if you don't have a why, you're going to stay in that trap of comfort forever. And so that's why we apply the next step, Charlie Mike. So if you're watching this on YouTube or listening on one of our audio podcasts, I need you to really dial in and hear me here. Listen, you were not built for easy. That is not your design. You were built to war against comfort, to literally resist comfort and seek out discomfort. That's the design. But the trick of the enemy is telling you that comfortable, just chilling, taking it easy, is where it's at. And honestly, that means one thing. You got a Charlie Mike, and you got to have a Charlie Mike plan. And what does Charlie Mike mean? That means continue mission. So step 1, you're going to pick one hard thing to do, something uncomfortable, something that forces you to wake up. And when I mean wake up, I don't just mean wake up like out of bed. I mean wake up, open your eyes. It's going to be something that you've probably been avoiding for a while. That's the obstacle you've got to focus on. Step 2 is going to be to cut one comfort habit, whether it's the snooze button, not going to do that anymore, like Netflix binging, going to cut that out, scrolling aimlessly on your phone. I mean, if you have to, delete the app. Look, it's not about perfection. That's not what I'm saying here at all. It's about resistance. It's about not seeking comfort and seeking discomfort every single day. Listen, here's the reality. You're going to get tired. You're going to get worn out. You're going to feel overwhelmed and all these emotions, right? Like you're going to have these emotions, and you're going to have days where you don't feel like showing up. You don't feel like seeking out that uncomfortable thing. or that one task you've been putting off. You're not going to feel like tackling that thing. And when that happens, I want you to remember this. The mission doesn't care how you feel. Your why doesn't care how you feel. The people that believe in you, they don't necessarily care how you feel either, because a feeling can be dealt with. And usually it's not your feeling, it's your belief. And there's a difference. They don't care about your beliefs, because comfort, it's going to steal everything from you. It did for me. It stole my time. It stole my discipline. And for a while, it stole my future. Now, I've come through the other side, and that's why I'm sharing this with you. But here's the thing. Discomfort, man, discomfort is where you build power. That's where you stack wins. So here's something else to think about. Really, really think about this process. If you quit, then you're literally choosing to stay stuck in the suck. If you go down this path I'm describing and you give up at some point, that's your decision. So if you stop, you lose. But if you Charlie Mike, if you continue the mission, if you push through when it's hard and you lean into discomfort, you seek out that discomfort, that uncomfortable thing, instead of running from it or turning from it or avoiding it, and that's where you win. And stacking wins over losses is how you're going to regain trust with yourself. Stacking wins instead of losses is how you're going to regain trust with others, how you're going to shut up your haters, and you're going to pull in your circle of influence that believes in you, because now they're trusting you and you're trusting yourself. This is the first of 15 traps that we're going to break down in the hot wash. Each one of these is designed to keep you stuck. Each one of these 15 things, the enemy has intention to keep you right where you are, to keep you from your purpose. And over the next 14 episodes, I'm going to teach you exactly how to reclaim control, rewire your mind, and move forward with power. How to turn your fear into fuel and step into your purpose. But it starts right here, right now, today. When you're listening to this episode and you decide right now, tomorrow, I'm going to wake up and do it different. So what's the one comfort habit that you're going to cut out this week? I want you to put that down in the comments. And if you're serious about breaking out of the suck, then go down in the link below in the description, rewiredexperience.com. Go download the PDF, Take a Knee. It's a free PDF, and it's going to help you figure things out. It's going to help you figure out where you're stuck in the suck. So it's time to take a knee, drink water, reshoot your azimuth, and Charlie Mike. I'll see you on the next episode of Rewired Experience, The Hot Wash. Let's do it.